if we can get it to focus. This is going to be a basic tutorial on how I made this wire wrap copper pendant. So without any further ado, let's get into the video after this short intro. Hello and welcome back to my channel. You are watching LMB Arts. In my last video, you saw me make this cabochon from some Missouri lace agate. And today we are going to make a pendant. I am going to be using 20 gauge, there it is, 20 gauge square wire, dead soft, and also some 20 gauge half round, also dead soft. And I've gotten these from riogrande.com. They have some of the best selection of metal and at good prices. Now to start this, I'm going to start off with, I want four lengths of wire that are about, I find 9 or 10 inches is generally good for a cabochon this size. My cabochon is, let's see, right at about 1 inch long, so you could get away with 9, but I like to give myself a little extra. So let's take our handy little wire clippers or side cuts, whatever you want to call it. They're wire cutters, and let's measure out. I need four wires, and one of the first things I'm going to need to do is straighten it out a little bit. So I'm going to take it between my finger and just kind of straighten it out a little bit. That's also going to it'll leave some marks because you're going to get a little bit of, this has been sitting a while, so it's going to leave some marks on my fingers. You could use some nitrile gloves or something like that, but I'm going to measure out about 4 lengths of 10-inch wire, and then the half round I'm not going to measure out. It's just going to be left on the spool because it'll be a lot easier to work with that way. And we're going to make, I want to make a basic frame. Once you have the first one cut, you can just kind of eyeball the other 3. But you want them as straight and square because we'll have to line them all up so that the half round wire, we can start making our frame with it. And cut this last one here. And you don't need a lot of fancy tools. Now I have bought some better ones over the years naturally, but first is a pair of wire cutters. You can get these at Hobby Lobby, or I'm sure you can find them on Amazon or any place like that. My next favorite pair is, these are, I don't know if you can see that, Xuron. These are a fine tip, a little bit more than a needle nose pair of pliers, but these make fine work really good. These I picked up at Hobby Lobby. And then you can get either a stepped, a step bail making pliers, or just get these round nose pliers. Both of these were picked up. Well, the stepper pliers I picked up from not Amazon, I'm sorry, at Hobby Lobby. And then these, let's see if we can Casual Comfort. Yeah, Casual Comfort, I believe, is a brand from Hobby Lobby. I've had these a while, so I don't really remember. You can also get a pair of these flat-nosed. They're needle pliers, but they're smooth on the surface, so you're not going to mar up the metal. And then last, okay, Casual Comfort. I apologize. Those are Beetle-On. So if you look up Beetle-On online, you can order pliers from them. But these are wrap making pliers. I don't really use them as, to put your half round in here. That way you can manipulate the wire. I don't really do that, but I do like them because they're flat, and I like to have at least 2 pair of pliers with a flat surface. And so those are my primary ones. You can get it's a rabbit hole. You can go down and there's all kinds of different pliers and ring making pliers and crimp pliers and just all kinds of stuff. But to start off, I like to keep things as simple as possible, because when I'm working, I tend to put things down and forget where I put them. But so first thing we're going to do, otherwise if I don't get moving here, this video is going to end up being 2-3 hours long. But here what we're going to do is, let me get my hand out of the way. I'm not used to doing it this way, so forgive me if the camera work gets shoddy. But you want those wires to lay close to each other. Now if you wanted, you could put some painter's tape out here on the ends, just cut little tiny strips. I probably should have done that, but I'm going to try to do this way. But we want those to line up, and you want to find roughly the middle. And then I'm going to take my wire. I want the let's see how well this picks up on camera, but there's the shinier side, and then the other side, it's still shiny, but you can see that it is a little different. So you want the flat side up, because what we're going to do, we're going to take our 4 wires, and what I'm going to do is bend them. I want to bend them around. And what you can do here is just make a little bend in it, like that. And then what we'll do is take our bundle and start like that. Now what I'll do is I'll take this short end and go around. You want it to lay flat without, now see, I just put a little bit of a kink in the wire, but that's okay. But we'll go around and just kind of hold that, and then take, this is what I like, that's what I like these pliers for, because now we're gonna just kind of, well, yeah, I'm not used to doing this in the air like this, so it's, but I want to just push it down a little bit so that that half round wire will hold on. And you can push the wires together here. I don't have a real neat start here, but just kind of make that a little tight. And then what I'm going to do, get myself a little extra wire, and then the way I like to do it is to, and now see, I pulled that apart a little bit. There we go. What I like to do is hold my thumb right here, and that way I'm kind of guiding the wire. I'm letting it come around my finger, and then using my thumb to bend it around, because if you put too much pressure, it will it will cause your bundle to get bunched up, and we want them flat. That's how we're going to keep this frame the way we want it. And then just start going around like this, and then press the wires together. Now I've already kind of messed up. You can kind of see how messy that is right there. So what I can do, I can unwind that until I get to a neater spot. Kind of crush them back together just a little bit. You do not need much pressure on these at all, but I'm just going to kind of do a little light tap to get those wires tight, and then I'm right back to where I was here and start just wrapping these together. I want to keep those coils around it right up next to the one that I've just laid down as best I can. Just like this. And just keep kind of gently pressing them together, because when you start, it takes some practice, and I've been doing this a while and I still get spaces in between my coils. So you just take your time, be patient, and let's go one more. Halfway around here, because now I've got that tail sticking up. So what I want to do is take my nippers here, and I want to cut that about halfway across the bundle. So you want your end to be around, at least to go about into it two. If you go a little further, that's okay. We just don't want the end of that tail to stick out. Like, see, you can see I've got that sticking out a little bit, so I didn't go back far enough. So I'm going to take just a little bit more off of it. That's better. I almost took too much, but it's good. That's gonna hold it. And then I'm going to tap down the rest of my wire here, and I'm going to do the same thing with this tail. Now where we snip these off, we're going to have these. Okay, we're done with that for the moment. Now you can see how that's where we've snipped it. This is going to be the inside. So when we wrap the cabochon, we want to hold it so that those snipped ends are facing the stone. That'll keep them from snagging on clothing, or it'll keep you from getting cut if you're, when you handle it or whatever. We want those little tails hidden. So now it's really best if you can hold this. I'm going to try to keep my fingers out of the way, but you want to center your stone in your coils. And we're going to, now the way I'll do this, since it's in the air like this, I'm going to just bring my fingers up on either side and bring these wires around. Let them cross. I want to try to keep those as flat as I can, but because of the size of the stone, I'm going to have, the wires are going to kind of, now you can leave a gap at the top, or you can go all the way in. It just depends on what kind of look you want to go for here. What I'm going to do, what I'll show you to do, is to leave a little bit of a gap. So we want it, okay, I'm going to have to straighten these out just a little bit. So very gently I'm going to kind of straighten these out just a little bit, like so. because I've gotten it tried to curve around the top of the stone. This is why I like a little bit thicker girdle on my stone. But now if I lay that over the top, you can see I've got just a little bit of a gap. And so what we'll do is kind of hold that as best I can. Take our pliers, and now I'm going to bend those. Well, you couldn't see that. I'm going to take where that bent and bend that out just a little bit, and this is where we'll make any fine-tuning adjustments. Like you can kind of see, that straightened back out a little bit. Good. Sometimes this will get to where it's curved inward or outward, and so you just have to take your pliers and just gently bend it back to the shape you want. We'll fit it back over our stone. That looks good. You want to try to get that centered. You want to get that where that meets centered over your stone. So now we want those wires flattened back out again. And this is the hard part if you don't have them taped. What we'll do is take our half round wire still on the spool, and what I want to do is I'm going to take it around. I want to make 3 coils, and then I want to push that down to where it comes across there as best I can, and then I'm going to take the pliers here, and I want to bring that tail up, but it's going to be too long, so I'm going to take that end and I'm going to cut that like that, and then I want to take this end in, and we're going to hide it to the inside. And it spun on me. So I have to find the end again. And you can see they're trying to bunch up on me here. So first off, let's just go ahead and take make sure I'm getting the right ones, and I didn't. You're going to have 4 wires on either side, so 8 wires coming up off the top. And we've got to find the ones that go to each side. That's not it. We want to leave these last 2 right here. We want to leave those like that. And then I want these wires over here. And then these 3 wires are going to come over here. And this will help make it a little easier to deal with our little runaway end over here. So now here's my end. I want to get that. I want to bring that around so that it's going across and inside. Now see, I just bent that wire, which is easy to do, but just finesse it back into place if you do that. And now we just want to slowly work that wire so that it's tucked in right there. And then we can kind of pull our wire snug. So now with these with these side wires out of the way, now we can work on the bail. And what we're going to do is we're going to take, since we haven't cut it, we're just going to take that wire and do like we did the bottom of the frame and bring it around our two bail wires here. I apologize if I know I keep kind of going out of frame, but I'm watching between the camera and and what I'm actually doing in my hands. So it's, I know the video is the video work, the camera work is a little rough, but it's a learning process for me. But here we're just going to do that same technique. Let the pressure off of it so you can get it around, and just keep guiding it around until you feel like you've got enough for the bail. I like to go around quite a bit. So let's go. I like a decent sized bail just because, you know, maybe you prefer a leather cord, or you want to be able to change out the cords, and a really small bail makes that difficult, whereas having a larger bail definitely helps. I want to press these down, but you don't want to press too tight because you will, or too hard, because it will bend. So now I'm going to tap that down to make that as flat as I can. And that will help hold these wires in place. It'll keep my bail wires flat, and it'll keep that, it'll give a nice look to the finished bail. And now there we go. And I'm going to say that's good. Now I don't want to cut my wire yet, but what I do want to do is I'm going to take, right here where we've stopped. I want to tap that down flat. Go over it a few times if you need to. And now where the wire has stopped, right now I'm looking at the back. And that's because your bail wire comes up off the back here, so I want to bend this down at about a 45-degree angle roughly. And then I'm also going to take my bail wires and the wrap, and I want to bring that down about 45 degrees. Now, I like using my bail making pliers because if I try to do this by hand, I struggle. So I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go down to the fourth step. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to go down here to this fourth step, and I'm just gonna bring that bail up and around. And just like that. Now, it's a little, it may be a little funky shaped, and that's okay. But now we're going to continue with the wire that we left hanging off. You want to press that bail in as close as you can. And we're going to continue around the whole thing like this. And this is going to hold everything back together. If you need to, pull these side wires out of your way a little bit, like that. And we are going to continue around our bail. And I just twisted it somewhere. And if you do that, that's okay. I think right there is the problem. It is. You can straighten that back out. I'm just going to I'm going to take my pliers here, turn that, and gently put that back. And now we're good. So we continue going around and stop here at the back. Now we're going to snip our wire, and we're going to do just like we did when we started the wrap there. We're going to cut it a little short. So you've got that little tail, and we're going to bring that tail around and inside the frame. That way it is tucked away, out of the way, and it will not be seen, and it won't be felt. And then to finish the bail off, we're going to just tap it down on the sides, and that will hold it. Okay, now these two wires that we've got hanging off the back, we want to snip those because we don't need that much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut them about halfway up the frame here. And we don't need those, but we want to leave those hanging right there. So now we'll take our fine tip pliers here, and I'm going to I want just that one wire on the back, and I'm just going to, I like to hold the wires up here at the top so that it doesn't deform too much. Same thing here. We want just this top wire. If you need to, get a fingernail or something underneath that frame wire and bring it up a little bit so you can get a hold of it. And then once you have just that one wire, we're going to do that. And now this will hold our cabochon from falling through the back. And it may have deformed a little bit, which is okay. That's the beauty of dead soft wire. You can manipulate it and get it looking like this. So now what we want to do, just like we did the back. Now what I like a little asymmetry. I don't like to keep it perfectly I don't like to have things perfectly even. So what I'm going to do is just gently bring this one over the wire there. And then on the other side, I'm going to do something similar, but not quite. So what I want is, I want to bring this wire up just a little bit. I'm going to go a little higher up. I want to hold my wire as best I can. Now this is where a couple pair of pliers come in handy, because now I can hold that. I can bring this up just a little bit, grab it where I want to grab. And now what I like about doing it this way is that I can kind of, especially like with this one, you can see I'm kind of sort of following the banding, since most of the banding comes up this way. It kind of highlights those bands in the middle. And so I'm going to leave that like that. Now then, where you can start to get really creative is with these wires. I think what I'm going to do, let me think. Well, first I'm going to manipulate that bail a little bit and kind of straighten it out. And you can see I've got it's a little funky, so I'm going to bring that up a little bit, and I'm just going to slowly work my way around it until I have the shape that I want. Just very gently and slowly. There, that's much better. It's big. You know, it is a big bale, but like I say, I prefer the bales that way because that way you can put a larger chain on it, or you know, whatever you want to do. So I think first what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these 2 back wires. You can see my 2 back wires. I'm going to bring those back and down, and I'm going to crisscross them in the back so I can bring it around. And I think what I want to do, I'm going to curve my wire around, and now I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to bring it in here through this gap here at the top. So I want to go around like this, and then I'm going to pull it through gently. Straighten that out a little bit. It's a little long, so but I want to get that in there as snug as I can. Okay, now then I'm going to go ahead and cut. Now that's not going to be enough. I'm going to have to cut it again, but this will make it easier to get in here where we want it. I'm going to bring this around again one more time. And we're just coming through here again. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. I apologize for keeping going off out of camera view here. But I'm just going to slowly and gently work this wire up into there. And then I have just enough. I should have just enough. Yeah. I want to work that down just a little more. I keep trying to bring it closer to myself and bringing it off camera. I apologize. Hopefully I get better at this as I get to doing more of these. But I want to bring a little more of that wire around. I thought I'd have to trim it more, but it looks like I got lucky this time. And we just want to bring that end in and around. And just take your time. It takes a little practice, but once we have that end in here, we'll kind of do a little rolling motion here to get that down, and then tap it down into place. And if it well, I don't know if you can really see that, but it's a little off, but you can use the pliers to get in there and really tap that down. Okay. And then I need to readjust this just a little bit. I'm going to adjust that just a little bit. And now we're going to take this other wire and do the same thing on the other side. I want to bring it around, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut off about an inch, maybe a little more, just to make it easier to manipulate here. And then we're going to go around, bring that in, just like that, around through the back. And I want to get that as snug. I want to get that as snug up in there as I can. So what I may need to do is come around here to the back and pull it from there just a little bit. So I'm kind of just getting in there and just pulling a little bit at a time. I'm going to kind of manipulate that, get that in there like so. Bring that around so it'll go through one more time. And we're going to bring that up. And then just keep those coils up next to each other as best you can. And we're going to continue working that. Yeah, I need to cut that wire off just a little bit, so I'm going to bring that back up. And I'm just going to take a little bit, because if you take too much, then you have to change your plans. And that's the beauty of working with wire like this. If something doesn't work out, you can undo things and redo it, or sometimes it might even inspire you to change directions altogether. So now we've got those two like that. So let's come back here to the back and take care of these. Now that's where these round nose pliers come in, because you can just take the very end of that wire. I know there's people that can do it just with their fingers, but I'm not that, I don't have that kind of finesse. So now we're going to I'm just going to make a little loop for that one, and I'm going to do the same thing over here with this other one. I'm going to go the opposite way. We're going to grab it in the end of the pliers and just make a tiny loop. A tiny loop. And bring that up. And that will help keep the cabochon from falling out. Like that. Now you can do a number of things with these wires, but I think for my purposes, I'm going to do the, you can just kind of crank these back and forth like this. Keep a little bit of pressure on it. And then they'll break off. And run your finger, make sure you can't feel them, but what that does, it breaks it off, but when it breaks off, it kind of breaks off like a hook. So it's going to hold these coils here down. And you can do the same thing on the other side. Just hold your frame snug. Just wiggle these up and down, back and forth until they break off. You can also hold it with your pliers. There it goes. And I don't feel any hook. And so there we have our finished copper cabochon. Now there are techniques where you can put an antique. I'm going to just manipulate this wire just a little bit. It got a little discombobulated, but you can antique this, or I don't know if I brought it here with me, but no, I did not. You can also, oh wait a minute, maybe I did. If you like the copper look and you want to keep it that shiny copper, then you can get this Renaissance wax polish. I got this from Amazon. I'll have links to everything that I used in the description. But this is it, and then now we just have to add a chain. You can go on Amazon and buy copper chain, black chain, silver chain, stainless steel, whatever you like. And Or if you want to do leather, you can do a leather cord in any length you want. But this is how I do a lot of my pendants. I take those other two wires a lot of time, and I can do different things with them. Here's one that I've made where I took those wires, and you can see them. You can see here what I've done is I've just taken those wires, cut them so that they fall right here against the frame. I filed those ends down so they weren't sharp, and then just used my bail making pliers and just pressed those down into the bail, and then I've added a nice simple copper chain. And then, like in the case of this one, I've instead of leaving this gap at the top like on this one, I actually brought everything up to the center so that it was all the way around the cabochon and snug, and that way you can see this wire holds it at the top all the way down right to these bottom coils. Same thing up here. I just took and made a little curve in there so that holds it up here. And there are many other things you can do as well. Perhaps in another video I'll do a rose. I'll show you how to do a rose at the top. But this is just these are just simple frame wire wraps that with a little bit of practice anyone can do, and it's a great way if you've got a lot of stones and aren't sure what to do with them. This is a great way to embellish them just a little bit more. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you thought of this tutorial. This is the first time I've done one of these tutorials, and so let me know what you thought. If I was clear enough, if I wasn't, let me know where I could improve, or if you want to see something else. If you prefer the cutting videos, or maybe some rock hunting videos, although right now it's a little cold for that, but we'll get them. We'll get something. I'll make something happen. Just let me know what you like. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you in the next one.